Welcome to Remelations. We're your hosts.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke. Remelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams from nightmares to the just plain bizarre. Join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle.
This week, we're reading a dream story from Sierra that has to do with cults, gin drinks, and visitations from mom.
We're also talking about catnaps that involved altars and shrines.
Creepy, but we also have more catnaps about Slim Jims, alien runners, and being really bored. Really, really bored.
We're also talking about COVID dreams and how COVID affected our dreams in general.
I'm ready. I think our bestie's ready. Brooke, if you're ready, let's get started.
Woo!
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Or should we start since I'm recording?
Yeah. Let's just start.
And start. And go. Hello.
We need a clapper.
We need a clapper. If anyone would have one of those, like, directors, what do they call those? You must know the name
a
of
clapper.
Them. They're called the clappers. If anyone would have a clapper, it would be you. So I'm surprised you don't.
I do have, like, an art one. Like, that will just hang on your wall, but it's...
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second.
Do you have one? No way. How do you just look off to your left and you have a clapper? Or you're right.
I forgot. You're right. Did a 13th birthday party that was Hollywood themed, so I forgot I had this. And it just happened to be like right next to where I was sitting here in the basement.
I was like, this is very convenient that you just looked over your shoulder and you're like, wait. Because I do have one, but it's art on the wall, like, so it doesn't clap. It just...
Well, here we go.
Yeah, but
I'll start over. Ready? Remelations, episode 71, take one.
Good.
Okay, now we may begin. Hello. So, here we are, episode 71.
Hi,
we're
here.
back again. Hello. Okay, it sounds like we're starting all the way over. Take two. Wait. Take two.
Hey.
Hello. All right. I've got a dream for you. Oh gosh, Brooke. Oh. You know when I say buckle up, I mean buckle up, put on your airbags, and check yourself before you wreck yourself, because this is a crazy dream.
Oh, I love when you give me that warning, but at the same time, I'm a little nervous.
The reason I say it, because this has you might cry, you might laugh, you might
This sounds spectacular.
Believe in afterlife. And we're just gonna have to get started here.
Okay, let's just dive right in.
So this dream comes from Sierra, and it's interesting how my path crossed with hers. So I was on TikTok scrolling, and I ran across Sierra's TikTok when she was talking about a dream she had. And now, TikToks are short,
God.
but I reached out to her and I said, this is an amazing dream. Can I share it on our podcast? Super sweet girl. She's like, absolutely, you can. And she sent me an extended version, I'd say, of this dream. And I was
going to say, if TikTok's short, how are we going to get this crazy long version? This is the extended cut.
Extended, it's the remix. The extended dance remix of dreams. Thanks, Sierra.
I love it. Thank you.
So it's titled, This Strange Dream I Had in 2020.
Okay.
She begins, you reached out to me on TikTok on a video I made regarding a very vivid dream I had back in 2020. I'm definitely going to give you too much information about it all, but I don't think a Cliff Notes version of this experience does it justice. After reading this, I agree. You cannot cut any of this out.
In.
Okay, here we go.
Wait. Click. I buckled myself in.
Oh, I thought you went to do scene 3.
No, I clicked you said buckle up. I buckled up.
Okay, click. You're buckled. Good. Okay. This is how Sierra's dream starts. I was at this absurdly large and crowded campground, which was run by the mob. Of course it was. Most of the campers and sites were empty, and some looked like they were frozen in time. Most of the campers were also abnormally large, making me feel like a child. But if I...
like giants?
They're like giant mobsters? Not good. But if I chose to enter any of the essentially abandoned campers, I would almost be too big. Kind of like when you put a Barbie in literally any Barbie vehicle. I hear you. Those legs just don't bend.
They do not. How have they not figured that out? I think they do now. Do they now?
They do bend, yeah, but
they're not like you either have the straight arms or the bent arms. The legs never bent. Not for us.
And neither did those feet never came off those heels either, or the balls of your feet. They never went down. The heels never touched the ground.
She was always ready. Nope, she was always ready to look fabulous.
She goes on to say the proportions were constantly changing and always off. But that is a normal aspect of my dreams. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Things were also kind of a light sepia tone, and a good portion of the dream felt as if it was at sunset because there wasn't a lot of light. I mean, it sounds lovely, other than giant mob people. One of the campers I entered was one of those 1950s style campers, with that very 1950s turquoise color on almost everything. But
I would die. I would love that. I think it would be like so cool nowadays, wouldn't it?
I'm into camping now. Let's go.
Is it pink? Well, let's not get too crazy about it.
But the outside was that very 1970s pink.
No!
All right. The inside and there's so many reasons I love Sierra, but this is one of the reasons. Inside reminded me of the Taylor Swift's music video for You Need to Calm Down.
Oh,
it's a wonderful video.
Of course that hits home to you.
With Brendan Urie. # what does Brendan Urie dream?
Nice.
Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, I totally could vision this. She's a fellow Tay-Tay fan. This was incredibly strange because everything else in the campground had severely muted colors.
Huh.
Because that was not my camper, and I was definitely not supposed to be in it or at the campground at all. I didn't spend too much time exploring the inside.
That's kind of weird. Do you just walk into someone's camper and take a look around?
Ooh, this is pretty. Not only was this campground owned by the mob, but they were using it to grow a cult.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't just have to worry about the mob finding me. I also had to worry about the cult the mob was going to find me. So it's like...
Shit!
I mean, isn't it kind of a mob like a cult anyways? But now there's like a lot of people in this mob cult. Sounds not good.
This is a terrible situation. Besides the camper.
There was a lot of running, hiding, and the friends I had essentially broken into the campground with had either gotten taken by the cult or they had vanished.
Oh, no.
I didn't know their whereabouts, and now I was on my own.
Shit. Again, I must say shit.
What's kind of funny about this whole campground for the mob's cult is the campground for the mob's cult. It rolls off the tongue almost.
It does. It sounds so good.
Is that the people who weren't a part of the cult were allowed to stay there. That's very nice of them. Just $14.95 a night. Of them. People could visit.
That's cheap too.
I know. People could visit, and they didn't have to join the cult. However,
you're like going in for a test drive just to see what it's like. like an open house.
Like an open house for the cult.
Oh, I hear. Let's just walk around here for a little bit.
You know, this cult doesn't seem like it's fitting me just right. I'm going to go down this street and join the cult down the street. I think it might.
Yeah, I don't like the tile floors. I need hardwood, and I want to change the paint color.
Okay, so you could visit the campground, but you didn't have to join. However, if you were caught doing any of the things against the rules, you were taken. Oh. The rules were also a secret. If you weren't part of the class. So you didn't know what rules you couldn't break. It was very nerve-wracking.
I would just choose a different campground next time. This seems like a whole lot of hassle.
Stay at a state park or something else. The longer I stayed, the more I learned. But you can only learn so much when you're fearing for your life. There were certain clothing styles you couldn't wear, certain colors that were forbidden, and certain words would get you killed. It was not safer to not talk.
Not just taken.
But killed, yeah.
Not just taken, but killed. Okay.
It was safer to not talk, but who is going to spend their entire dream silent? I agreed. She's like, might as well go for it.
That's what dreams are for.
I spent a lot of time watching the different groups of cult members, so I could hide whenever they were within eyesight. It wasn't actually that difficult to know where they were because they all had to march in formation, and the person in the front was calling out cadences like some sort of military drill sergeant. But they were all repeating different mantras of the cult's creed or whatever. Fun fact, it wasn't great to listen to.
That is a fun fact. Thanks, Sia.
Naturally, they all wore the exact same thing. I mean, is it really a cult if they don't have matching outfits?
No, absolutely not.
Sierra, you're cracking
If you don't have matching outfits, you're not a cult.
How do you know it's a cult?
That is the number one. That's the number one rule.
Anytime I was unable to find a way to avoid running into the group, I would teleport myself to a different part of the campground because it's my dream and I can do what I want, LOL.
I love it. She's a lucid dreamer. She's teleporting.
I'm not feeling this matchy outfit cult vibe. I'm gonna out.
That's a big red flag. I don't know why you're all just alike, but I know it's bad. So I'm transporting the hell out of here.
I'm gonna yeet myself to the other side of this campground.
Did you just say that? I love it.
All right. At some point, I had to fall in line with the marching of the group because they were going where I needed to go. And there were multiple groups in the area, so I needed to blend in. Unfortunately, I did not have the super cool, fun matching outfit, nor did I have the right haircut.
Oh. There was a haircut, too?
I can only... Is it the Rachel? Is it
the Rachel?
Oh, wait. No, then she goes, nor was I the correct gender. I accidentally joined the boys.
Oh, whoopsie daisy.
So I'm guessing it's not the Rachel, but maybe it's the Ross.
How does that accidentally happen? So is there a thing, Ross? Is that a thing? I don't think anyone wants his hair.
No. It was not that great. I was able to keep from being found out for a short time because I was using dream magic to hide my presence. But there was also so much I could do. No amount of shielding can hide the fact I am very bad at marching in tempo. And that is why I dropped out of the marching band.
Is she me? Is Sierra me? I have no tempo or rhythm whatsoever.
They're all like, 1, 2, 3, 4. She's like, what?
And I'm like,
2, 1, 3.
I can't do it. Don't make me.
Sierra. So it looks like it's not turning out so good for her at this point. I made it through a decent amount of marching in the group, but they eventually realized I didn't belong because I was throwing everyone's rhythm off. One of the boys looked at me, still managing to keep pace with everyone else. And then another looked at me, and then another. And then that's when I saw my mom. I hopped out of line immediately, and it wasn't until the boys reached the full range of motion with their necks before they stopped watching me and returned to looking forward. Now, at this point in my dream, I knew I was dreaming. I knew my mom was not alive anymore. So her mom in real life had passed away.
Okay.
And I knew that she wasn't really there. But I took in the sight anyways. Okay. So now we go from cult to mom.
Like a mother-daughter story now. We're transitioning.
Yes. Yep. Scene change. She was sitting in front of a camper that looked a lot like the one we had before she passed. And she was sitting in a red folding chair, just like the one she used to sit in at the campground we used to live in. She was crocheting something, like she always did. This is the part, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah, this is sweet. I'm like, oh.
She didn't look up as she told me that I needed to be careful around those people. And I barely let her finish when I threw my arms around her and gave her a great big hug.
Oh.
She couldn't really give me a hug back because I was kind of pinning her arms underneath me, but I felt her try to.
Oh, there was that energy there.
I know. She shifted the crochet hook in the yarn out of the way and tried to move forearms out so she could pat me on the back.
Oh, my God.
I could smell the gross menthol cigarette smoke in her hair and the faint smell of perfume she would only wear on special occasions, and I knew this was no longer a dream. I miss you, I told her through the tears as I was trying not to break my voice. That didn't work. And I asked her, why are you here? And I pulled away from her. like all the detail, all the little things of like your mom's scent and things like that's just, it's killing me, Sierra. It's killing me.
I mean, scent is one of the biggest things associated with memories. So, of course, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Drink that. She motioned to the small glass sitting next to the bottle with a label she couldn't read, but I did notice a large rose image on the bottle. It kind of reminds me of how words are in The Sims. So again, she's a Taylor Swift fan. She loves The Sims. So is she just like the
Are
love
you
child
and Sierra
of you and
now
I?
best friends?
Oh, we are best friends. We're totally best friends, or she's our love child. I can't tell yet which one.
Well, it could be either one. I mean, I do like cults. I don't.
You like the color
cults.
pink?
I like the color pink. I like learning about cults. So, yeah, she could be our love child so far.
Yeah, could be. Okay, the liquid was light pink, and it was a little colder than room temperature.
Oh, these details are amazing.
Amazing, right? So once the burn started to subside, I could taste it. It tasted exactly like someone soaked roses in alcohol. It was strangely good. But I didn't drink anymore because I wanted to ask my mom for some advice.
Oh.
She was really there, and I could ask her anything. But there was only one question that burned my mind. Why do I cling so hard to fictional characters?
That's it. If you had any question to ask, that's an interesting one to choose.
It is an interesting one. I agree. I looked out into the campground, trying to figure out a way to best elaborate what I was feeling. Why do I cling so hard to fictional characters? Are the only people who truly love me? And then I started listing some specific fictional characters that lived rent-free in my mind at the time. So I'm just thinking like, movies or books that she's really drawn to, that she really just feels like these fictional characters are a part of her life, right?
Well, that's the whole point of media. I mean, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, whether it's music, the whole point is to make you feel. So
feel connected.
Of course. Feel connected.
But the way she said it, are the only people who truly love me fictional characters? Like that's hard.
That's sad. That's harsh.
There were a few partial sentences I tried to work through, but I just couldn't find the words. I felt embarrassed to be asking about that, and it seems silly to me to be so attached to people who don't even exist, and to be asking my mom about it.
Whew. I know, right?
She says, we don't have much time, as I was turning back to look at her, and then I woke up.
Oh, so sad.
So then she woke up, but then she goes on to say a little bit more. So you're ready for this next part. It's not unheard of for me to have dreams that I can feel things so vividly in. But I knew this was different, especially when it came to that rose drink she gave me. I never tasted anything like it. Once I had stopped crying, I started looking for it. Maybe that something like that has to exist. My mom was never a big drinker. And then she put in parentheses, probably thanks to all the drinking she did in her teenage and young adult years to rebel against her parents, end parentheses. And when she would drink, it was always wine. Usually Arbor Mist, but sometimes she
Classy AF. Classy AF.
Yeah, girl, get it.
And Arbor Mist. Is she a 17-year-old girl?
Right? Some habits die hard, Brooke. It's like, fast forward 30 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, my mom and those White Claws. Hoo-wee,
That's true. I shouldn't speak too soon, should I?
So usually Arbor Mist, but sometimes she would treat herself to something of quality, LOL. Because it was her glass, I assumed it was wine that she had gave me. So after I woke up, I started looking up rose wine. For obvious reasons, my search resulted in nothing of value. But still, every now and then I would try to look it up, rose wine, thinking maybe this time I'll find it. But I never did. So that's not the end of the story, but before we move on to the second part, give me some thoughts of what you're feeling in the first part.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, Sierra, I love your descriptive writing.
She's incredible.
I felt like I was watching a movie of like what you were reading to me. And to have such, I guess, vividness and the ability to capture it in writing is very hard because, you know, dreams are weird. Mm-hmm. And like, even you say, you're like, sometimes I have to draw it, you know, like I just have to like draw it out. And she was able to do it simply with words. And that's amazing. And I'm sorry, I know that's not about her dream, but it kind of is.
It has to be said. You're exactly thinking what I'm thinking. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean,
mind.
Amazing details. Where do we begin?
Oh, well, we're at the campground, but and you know, it's like a time. It's like
an olden time,
a place and time, right? Because it ties to her mom. I mean, the mom's obviously the main part of the stream, but it's like it's a frozen in time. 1950s, 1970s, culty.
Even the campers were like that. Yeah, it just and the sepia tone.
Yes,
like that also kind of ages it. So it's
you said sepia or sepia?
Oh, what is it?
Sepia.
Is it sepia?
Yeah, do you say sepia?
Is it?
It is.
I've always said sepia. Is it sepia?
It's I say sepia as a photographer, but
well, I would trust you
sound
over
like,
me.
Whoa, look at me, I'm a photographer.
I would trust you over me. Okay, sepia?
Sepia, yeah. But I mean,
sepia?
There's like...
Should I say it again?
No. I think I'll leave this in because... It's just because people see things differently, right?
Well, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I've just never, I trust you because obviously you're a photographer, but I don't know.
I could be wrong. But there's other photography terms that are like the blurry background is called, I call it bokeh, but some people call it bokeh and some people call it bokeh. So just, maybe it's one of those photography terms that comes down from another language that maybe it is.
Maybe.
Americanized one way versus colorful.
Do we need to explain that? Do you think, if people
let's explain to our bestie what sepia would be.
Sepia.
If you think of like old time photographs that aren't necessarily black and white but have more like browns or neutral tones in them, like ivories and browns, that's sepia. Yeah. So think of a black and white but brown and cream, brown and white more.
Or like if you're like at an amusement park and you dress up in the old timey clothes, you know,
oh my god,
and you like have the shotgun.
Favorite.
That's the color. That's the color we're talking about when they make it kind of that brown shade.
They always hand me like the Jack Daniels bottle. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Do I look like a floozy that would be at the saloon? You're correct.
As you got your skirt hiked up on one thigh.
Of course it would be. And holding a shotgun in the other, because no one's messing with me.
Now we need to go to Six Flags this summer and get a picture.
Yes. Or the Wisconsin Dells. The Wisconsin Dells has a lot of those old picture places.
Because I gotta be honest, I've never done it.
Never? I've got a few. I know I've got a few. Kelly and I, my little sister and I have one somewhere.
I think I've seen one of
I'm gonna have to find that one.
Like I bought photos of like when you're on the roller coaster and you're like, but never did the sepia tone.
I want to be your first. I want to be your first.
I want you to be my first too.
Well, we're gonna make that happen. I'm putting it on my notes right now. Hold on.
Okay, please put it on your note card.
Old-timey photo of me
Mindy
and my BFF.
must hold Jack Daniels bottle and shotgun.
And Brooke she's sitting at the piano, and she has...
I love it. This needs to happen as soon as possible.
Absolutely it does. We have to Google old-timey sepia photo booth near me.
We gotta take
it's on the list.
Pictures.
It's on the list. All right, but getting back to Sierra's dream here.
Yes.
The idea of a cult, a mob. So it starts off as a mob, but kind of moves into a cult. And it's very rigid. It's very like, this is, it's like, it's both ways though, right? She is hiding from them in the first part of the dream. In the second dream, she kind of falls in line to be marching,
Yeah.
even though she's admittedly not a great marcher.
Admittedly not a great marcher. I do think it's interesting, though, because both are very regimented.
Yeah.
Like, the mob has rules. You
can't
have to
break
follow
those
codes.
You gotta get your
And
historical
cults.
picture taken with the Jack Daniels bottle, or you'll be shot.
Or you will be shot. And it has to be.
Mob.
But cults, too. Very regimented rules. Mm-hmm. So she goes from, like, one group of people that's dangerous and very regimented, lots of rules, to another one that we don't know what they're capable of at this point, the cult. Also, rules. Obviously, killing's involved because she said if you did certain things, you got killed or what have you. So she's in two very different.
Isn't it weird how, like, a mob, you know you're in the mob. Like, you know you're in the mob.
Right.
But a cult, you don't know you're in a cult, usually.
If you're
right?
brainwashed, right?
So
like, you're not sure.
So different. It's the same but different.
It's the same but different. You're right. You know you're in the mob. When you're in a cult, you think you're just doing the right thing for whatever whatever purpose the cult is
I'm going to put
serving.
on this matching uniform. I'm going to march in a line and kill people that say the wrong words.
Just chickpeas for the rest of my life, and we're going to grow them ourselves.
Do you have a favorite cult, Brooke?
Yeah, my favorite cult. I don't know why I said yeah so quickly. No, I don't.
You're like, I do. I've been waiting forever for someone to ask me this question.
I watch a lot of documentaries on cults.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard to choose. I would say the most I've read on, and I've talked about it on the show, is Scientology, because it's fascinating to me. It's scary to me. It's horrifying to me. It's just all these different. I mean, not that other cults aren't, but this is one that I've probably read the most books and literature on, but I've seen about 1,000 documentaries about different cults, and they all fascinate me. People's Temple, like Jim Jones, Children of God, there's
I would go like the Rahanish.
Yeah, is that the
they had the
guy
Cadillacs in California.
Yeah. And then there's also the FDLS, where there's
many.
Just
so welcome to our cult podcast.
Hey, we just changed, you guys. Hi, bestie. Now you're our culty.
Hey, culty.
Hey, culty. Welcome to our new podcast. Mindy and I both joined a cult.
Maybe we just need to make our own cult. I mean, isn't that what we're really doing here anyways, Brooke?
We are.
Let's let our bestie know now you're kind of in a cult. I'm sorry.
You're kind of in a cult, but you know what? You're loved dearly. No, there's no
now send us your money, and I'll tell you what God told me to tell you. Okay?
Go. Yeah, well, money and dreams. Send us your money and dreams, and then Mindy will tell you what God says.
The last thing I want to touch on the dream part is her mom, and I just as a mom,
it's heartbreaking,
and having a mom, right? It is touching me in my heart. Like, I feel like there's a scent your mom has, or there's something that would just, if you were in your dream, you'd be like, no, this is not a dream, this is real. And that's right. That's what gets me on this one.
Yeah, it was very emotional. Like, I don't know why. It wasn't that much, but it was the way she wrote it that made it emotional.
Well, if you're ready, I'm going to move on to part 2, and you might get a little more emotional here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay. So that dream was in 2020. And so Sierra says, fast forward to 2023.
Oh, brand new.
Just
brand
recently.
Spanking new.
This is within the last couple weeks. So
nice.
I'm looking for recipes and dessert ideas for my date night. Tuesdays have been reserved as date night for a majority of my relationship. And so it just happens that Valentine's Day this year falls on a Tuesday.
Correct.
I'm spending hours going through articles about perfect Valentine's Day dinners and cute desserts for your Valentine. And I have, right, the Google terms, right?
Yeah, right.
I have narrowed down choices to a handful of recipes. Naturally, because I have been Googling these types of things, I got recommended an article, 25 pink cocktail recipes for Valentine's Day.
love Sierra with all my heart.
Our love child.
She is our love child.
I think to myself, I'm over 21, and I like cocktails, and I like pink, and I love being extra. So abso-fucking-lutely, I'm going to look at that article. She used the word abso-fucking-lutely. It is it's in my dictionary. It is.
It is. It's in my vernacular for sure.
So, I was in Target looking for ingredients for dinner, and I had figured since I was already at Target, I should see if any of those cocktails jump out to me, and if there's an ingredient I don't have already, I can grab it here since I'm in Target's clutches already.
That'll get you every time.
I went to Target today. I spent $44. I don't know on what.
I don't know. You go in and you want to go to the
Some
dollar
snacks.
area, and then all of a sudden you've got like $99 worth of stuff. You've got like a new bathing suit in February.
Speaking of cults, the Target cult.
The Target cult.
All right. The first cocktail I see is a rose gin and tonic, and I consider it. Gin and I have a rough past, but I was intrigued enough to give it a second thought.
Ditto, sister.
Totally. I decided I wasn't against trying rose gin, but I also wasn't sure where I wanted to go to find that bottle that day. When I looked up from my phone, since I was in the aisle I needed, I saw the number 6666. Now,
4 6s.
and this is another reason why Sierra's our love child. She loves numbers and numerology. She says,
See?
6666 falls under what's classified as an angel number, which are numbers, angels of the universe, or our spirit team / ancestors, etc., send us as a message. It is not uncommon for me to see angel numbers, so I felt a little spiritual pressure put on me. In the moment, I didn't Google the meaning. I just remembered the number 6 has to do with home and the heart. Looking it up now, I found focus on your dreams and desires and pay greater attention to your partner under the number 6. I made the decision shortly afterwards to try and find this rose gin.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so intrigued. Right now, I'm so intrigued.
Are you still buckled?
Right? Wait, let me put another one on.
Yeah, you best. Okay.
I need one of those roller coaster things that
Yes, the lap belts.
like
As I was getting on the road towards the liquor store, I knew I had the best chance of finding it at. There was a car that pulled in front of me that had a license plate that had 555 on it. 555 is a message of change, often favorable. As I got into the turn lane to get on the road where the liquor store is off of, the vehicle in front of me then had the number 777 painted on it. 777 is a message of spiritual awakening and connection to the spirit world or universe. When I got into the turn lane and turned into the parking lot, there was a car with 111 on its license plate. 111 often deals with manifestations and beginnings. That's why you wish on 11/11. Thank you. I was always wondering.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I guess I never ever thought to look
I
that
always
up, but
wished.
thank you.
That does make sense. I always wish on 11/11.
It's
Now,
once.
my mom used to tell me to wish on 11/11. How did you ever think? Was it something that was mentioned in your household? The 11/11 thing?
No,
Or
I
did
must
you
have
maybe-
learned it at school or friends or something. Maybe it was even you.
It was
Who
probably
knows? Yeah,
me.
no, it was probably you.
Me and the numbers. There was then a car that drove past with 222 on their license plate. 222 can have the meaning of being on the right path. Twos often represent romantic relationships. All of that was strange and it felt very symbolic, so I definitely had a lot of feelings at that point, especially after I recounted all of this to my friend. So I had gotten the rose gin. I was heading back to my car after I made a stop at Michael's to get some candle holders and some red taper candles. I like to be extra when I can. And I checked my phone and it said 1333. Now, I don't know the meaning of 333 offhand, but one of my deities is the number 3, and she often sends me 333 when she's got a message for me. Things felt so strange as I drove home. I saw 1111, 777-222. Just before I got home, I saw 444, which can mean encouragement from the universe and trusting your intuition. Whew, okay. So many numbers. So many numbers.
I don't want to do math.
If I saw all those numbers in that short time frame of my Target liquor store shopping trip, I'd be kind of concerned that something was wrong. She's like looking at them as good signs, but I'd be like, I'm just going to lock myself in my bedroom.
222. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's a lot. And then, like, you can get into it, add the numbers together, and then divide them by the numbers. It's so much. So this is a lot of symbolism to dig through.
After all the groceries were put away, I tried a little of the gin straight and regretted life. That tasted like bad choices.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. But when I mixed it together with tonic water, it had tasted just like the drink did in my dream. Down to the slightly colder than room temperature. And while I was making my TikTok about it, the stove read 3:33.
This is crazy.
Now she's wrapping up the email. She goes, and this is her take on it.
Okay.
Okay. Get your tissues out.
Oh, shit.
The relationship I am in now is unlike anything I've ever experienced. After I started to get to know my partner, he was on my mind all the time. When we exchanged phone numbers, when I asked him out for our first date, it felt like I was almost possessed by someone else. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't stumble over my words. When I drove home after asking him out, I screamed. And when I got home, to quote Taylor Swift, I was literally spinning like a girl in a brand new dress. The first time he came over, one of the most skittish of my cats jumped on the couch to let him pet him.
Oh, wow.
Again.
Wow, that's important.
Our love child.
Love child.
My dad told me when he sees us together, it reminded him of my mom and his relationship when they first started. And when I posted some photos of us at a Renaissance festival and a holiday light show, okay, I love that you go to run fairs. My dad got them framed and put them on the wall next to my brother's wedding photo. My partner, he feels like home.
Adorable.
He has since the very first date. And finding something that tastes exactly like the drink my mother gave to me in a dream when I asked about love on Valentine's Day is so weird. And it really feels like she's not only giving my partner approval, but she's also telling me this relationship was always meant to be.
Oh my God. Is this almost
Sierra.
over? I can't take much more.
It is. Sierra ends with, I'm still upset about the whole my dead mother gave me a spirit, and that's a funny pun.
Spirit, get it?
Much love, Sierra. If you want to see her TikTok video, and she did get emotional when she was sharing this, her username is Pikachu Sneeze. So I'll post a link in the show notes. You can follow her because
Pikachu Sneeze.
Adorable.
Oh, that's so cute. Ow. Wow, thank you. The
best dream story. Oh, it had it all. It had funniness. It had cults. It had mom spirit.
Emotion.
It had
yes.
Approved.
It was a
ride.
Oh. It was a wild ride. And you know what? We know that you have dreams like this too, or dream stories like this too, or maybe just little snippets of a dream that you remember. We want to hear them all, so just share. Sharing is caring. And all you have to do is go to revelations@gmail.com. Share your stories, your dreams, your little snippets with us. We want to talk about them. That was
absolutely
amazing. Let's see what we can come up with next.
I don't know. I just need a tissue. I need some rose gin. Oh, by the way, Sierra, if you can give us that recipe, we'll post it. We'll post it for our bestie.
Yes. I actually saw rose gin for the first, or at least it was pink. and I wasn't interested because it was gin, but it was when I was on my trip last year in the Maldives, like at the bar, I was like, ooh, pink, I want that. And they're like, it's gin. I'm like, no thanks.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Like Sarah says, it tastes like a bad decision. Which
it tastes like a Band-Aid is what I think it tastes like.
Now speaking of drinks, real quick, before we go on to catnaps.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Malort?
Is that a wine?
It's a liqueur. It's from Chicago. It's Chicago's drink. It's a Chicago thing.
A Malort?
Malort, yes.
Wait, is this a type of alcohol or the name of a drink?
It's like an alcohol. It's an alcohol. It's like you can take a shot of Malort. A shot of Malort. That's how you take it.
And it's created in Chicago?
Yes. So let me explain it to you and our bestie.
Okay. Please, because I'm fascinated.
So Chicago has this drink called Malort. If you go downtown Chicago, you can find it at most bars. You can't find it anywhere else that I know of outside of Chicago. And it's one of those things, if you can probably Google it, videos of people taking a shot of Malort. So we've known about this shot.
Is it terrible?
Well, if
there's videos of it, you know there's going to be terrible.
If you like the taste of fingernail polish as a shot, you might like this.
I love fingernail polish. It's my
favorite.
It's my favorite drink. But I only drink pink.
There is actually like celebrities doing it now. Yeah.
Malort,
so last summer,
how did I live there? I mean, I lived in the suburbs. I get it. But how?
Thing? I'm not sure.
I'd never heard of it. This is fascinating.
So last summer, my sister came to visit, and we were all downtown, and we decided, what the hell? Let's take a shot of Malort. And we were like down by the Bean, like Cloud Gate, as we call it here in Chicago. Yeah. Down by the Bean. And there was like a little like city outdoor bar. And so we made some friends at the bar. We decided to take a shot of Malort. And I think I have a video, and I will find it, and I'll post it for our bestie on our Facebook group. No, but Mark likes it. He tastes more like the grapefruit notes.
Oh, I hate grapefruit.
See, then you'll hate it as much as I do. Okay, but you still have to do it.
I'm glad.
You still have to.
I have no problem doing it, but
our sepia photo, historical photo, and Malort. That's on our list now. I'm adding
Put
Malort
it on
now.
Our list. I mean,
I'm putting it right number
Malort.
2.
Number 2, Malort.
Check. Okay, it's on our list. Things to do. Things we want to do. All right.
We have big goals in life. We're going to drink a shot and take an old-timey photo.
Watch out, world. All right. Okay. Woohoo. Hello. Here we go. Take. Wait. Scene 17.
Hi. Welcome to Catnaps.
Ta-da. So this one's short and sweet, and it comes from Libby from Oakland, California. I am running around my house completely naked.
Love it.
And for some reason, I see in my reflection that my nipples are Slim Jims.
As long as Slim Jims?
Like, I'm trying to picture this.
They're like a foot long.
I do not know how they appeared or why they are Slim Jims. And I don't seem to be bothered by it either. I didn't seem interested in eating them either. And then I woke up.
Oh, I would have. I would have been like...
I'm sitting here clutching my chest. I don't know why. I'm covering my boobs.
I want to Slim Jim. This should be the picture we take. Because we were both like holding our boobs like... hungry.
I mean, I do like a good Slim Jim. I mean, it's not great for you, but you need sometimes
it's
a little bit
protein.
of Slim Jim. Slim Jims of all the meats. Thanks, Libby, for your delicious dream.
Yummy. I love Slim Jim.
I do love a good Slim Jim.
I do love a Slim Jim. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope everything is normal in real life for you.
I really hope so.
Or relatively normal.
Normal enough.
This is going to take a different tone. This is Deborah from Eau Claire.
Okay.
I had a strange dream where I was in my grandmother's old house which was now occupied by other family members. I found a secret room, which I never knew about.
Nice. Does it have treasure inside?
It's like the Goonies.
Yes, it's got like just a box of gold coins and jewels.
And inside were a lot of childhood things. An old blanket. It looked like mine, but wasn't exactly right.
You know it's not yours.
I know.
Right? Because those blankies got a certain scent.
Did you have a blankie?
I do have a blankie, and actually I had it until I had my oldest child, and then she got my blankie, and she's in college now, and she sleeps with my blankie every night. So this blankie has been to college twice.
This blankie's the smartest blankie.
It's the smartest blankie ever. It's got 2 degrees. Well, almost.
Working on it. Working on that second.
Did you have a blankie or lovey?
I did. I had 2 blankies my mom told me about. They were both yellow. They were a little different in fabrics, but I called them my blankie and my yuck blankie.
Oh,
the yuck blankie was the backup blankie when I had to wash the blankie. But she said I literally called it my yuck blankie.
That's funny.
And I saw a picture in my recently where I had a Band-Aid over my nose, like as a child. Well, like a toddler. And I'm like, sure. Dad, what'd you do? Like, punch me in the face. He's like, no, you used to suck your thumb with your blankie.
Oh.
And then I would rub my nose with my index finger while I sucked my thumb, and it kind of like rubbed it raw. But yeah, I had 2 blankies, a yuck blankie and a regular blankie.
Yep, my kids have blankies. Yeah. Okay, so it was a blankie, but not her blankie. Of course, you would know. Yeah.
It's a blankie, but not her blankie.
Okay.
Then I noticed an altar/shelving area, and my pictures were everywhere.
No,
kind of creepy.
Creepy, Grandma.
It's her house, but she doesn't live there anymore. I don't get it. It was almost like a shrine. Most of these pictures were from when I was a teenager, but a few were from a few years ago. I recognized the outfits. The whole thing felt very off and very invasive.
Yeah.
It sounds that way, right? Like an altar? Like, I mean, you think, oh, maybe. I mean, you don't feel like honored when you see an altar.
Good. No shrines are good.
No shrines or altars ever. No. That's a bad sign. You don't want to be part of that.
Ew.
All right, Deborah. I don't like it.
That gives me the
but
creepies.
Thank you for sharing. I know it is creepy. Someone's taking your picture or stealing pictures of you. Yeah. No me gusta.
All right. I have one from Raphael, and he's from Danbury, Connecticut. All right. I am dreaming I'm driving an SUV on the highway with the windows down. I take an exit that wraps around in a circle. I notice something coming up to the passenger side of the vehicle. It's someone running. It's nighttime, so it's hard for me to make out who it was. I am slowing down to take the turn as the runner catches up to the vehicle and is next to the passenger side window.
No, I don't
You know
like
how
it.
they have the warnings, like, slow down, sharp curve. That's a really slow curve. The runner's like,
if the runner can catch up to it.
The runner is keeping pace with the speed of my vehicle. The runner does not have a shirt on. They are medium complexion. They are a man. They turn to look at me and smile. Such a creepy smile. They have no eyes, no eye sockets, just skin where the eyes should be. And then I woke up.
It's like an alien out jogging. It's creepy.
It's like an alien jogging.
Alien jog.
He's like, dude,
exercise
dude, my UFO broke down a few miles back. I just need a ride to the gas station, man. I like that we both are pretending we're actually running and jogging as we act this out.
We're both running as an alien.
Dude, slow down. I know I don't have eyes.
Just can I get a ride?
Can you fill this gas can up? Dude, I'll swear I'll pay you back.
Because, UFOs work off gasoline, too.
Right. Solar power, magic energy, or gasoline. It's a hybrid.
We don't, it could be a hybrid UFO. We don't know.
Hybrid.
We don't know.
Good one. Thank you, Raphael. I like that one. Creepy.
Yeah, that was a good
Creepy
one.
as fuck, but
creepy but good.
by the way, that last dream was called Dreamed I Was Followed by a Runner with No Eyes.
I like that title.
Direct and to the point.
This one I decided to share. It's Jessie, and she's from Bakersfield. But since Sierra had that dream that talked about kind of like abnormal sizes, I thought this one might be a good catnap.
Okay.
I tend to have a lot of dreams where people's ages in relation to each other are inaccurate. For example, I recently had a dream where my 13-year-old daughter's best friend was only 3 years old, but my daughter was still 13. And I was asking the friend if she still remembered my daughter, which I think would be interesting, like at 3 to 30.
Yeah,
that's a big
they don't
difference.
really have much in common.
No. Or another recent dream where two people in the dream were younger than me, but in real life, both of these people are older than me.
That is interesting.
I just think that's interesting. Jessie, like we said, sizes are all off, ages are off. It's a dream world. Things just aren't lining up. And that's always interesting. Like, why? Mm-hmm. Why would this be happening? Right. But I thought that was interesting. Thank you, Jessie.
All right, I've got one more for you. This one comes from Jesus, and Jesus is from Nashville. He says, "My dream bored me to awakeness." I've never had this happen before. My dream was of me and a friend in a restaurant. The man running the restaurant was explaining to me how my family had been there and that all of them would fit at this table. This one table. I remember he was explaining in deep detail about how they would all fit at this one table.
That's a lot of detail.
I remember just standing there and getting extremely bored to the point where I woke up. He just ends it with, "I just found that really funny and I just had to share." Laugh my ass off.
Obviously it is funny because we're both laughing. Have you ever been bored enough to jump out of a dream and just
Never.
wake up?
That was a unique one. Thanks, Jesus.
Thank you. That was an interesting one.
Very interesting.
Oh, lordy.
If you've ever had, a bored dream, or you woke up and you were just like, whoa, what just happened? Friends, we have merch. And one of my favorite shirts of our merch says, "And then I woke up." It's really cool. You got to go check it out.
And just so we're talking about it, my favorite shirt is the one that says "Sweet dreams, bitches." So, let us know who you like better.
Oh, yeah. Then I woke up or "Sweet dreams."
No, I'm just kidding.
My 80-year-old mother-in-law asked me to buy her a "Sweet dreams, bitches" sweatshirt. So I'm going to have to take care of that for her. But I love her, and that's
the most amazing thing I ever heard. That's
design.
The one she chose.
She's like, she doesn't want.
Cute.
And then I woke up. She doesn't want the Revelations logo. She wants the "Sweet dreams, bitches." So if you want to look cool, if you want to look as cool as my mother-in-law Zelda, what you can do is go to revelations.com/store. And you can get dream journals, t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, fun stuff like that. And if there's anything that you'd like to see in the merch store, let us know by sending us an email or joining our Facebook group. That's also a very cool place to be.
All the cool kids are doing it.
All the cool kids are hanging out. You have to be invited to that party. No, you don't. You can just look for Revelations Besties on Facebook or follow the links in the show notes for either of those two things. And thank you.
Mindy, I would like to share an article with you that I read from psychologytoday.com.
Okay.
How COVID affected our dreams.
Mm-hmm. It did.
And I think it's very interesting. So it starts out by asking a few questions. Did the pandemic change our dreams? Are we dreaming more? Do we have more nightmares? Do people who have COVID have nightmares? And I'm like, I got to read this article. I got to read it. Studies show that both our waking and dreaming lives were influenced by the pandemic, of course. While we were preoccupied with the pandemic itself and the profound changes in our habits and lifestyles, our dreams reacted and incorporated, this is what I find very interesting, incorporated these new realities into our dream vocabularies. Which is interesting because we don't normally dream about stuff like that, but when it's happening.
Right.
So here's what we know about dreams during COVID.
Okay.
Studies show that many dreams had themes of the illness, and in particular of the looming threat of the illness, often metaphorically expressed in the form of bugs and monsters. Isn't that interesting? I guess you're scared of both of these things.
Sure.
I mean, unless you like bugs, but yeah, it's something that
unless
is
you're
scary
what those people that study
overwhelming.
bugs are called entomologists, something like that.
And shit, I knew you were going to ask me, and I completely forgot. Entologist.
Well, those smart bug people, they don't mind so much.
Those smart bug people that figure stuff out, you know.
You know your title.
A website, and I will put this in the show notes. Well, Mindy will put this in the show notes.
Just send it along.
There's a website, I Dream of COVID, contains a collection of curated and illustrated COVID dreams submitted by dreamers.
Oh, so cool.
During the early days of the pandemic, and it is super cool. Like, I scrolled through it, and it's like, yeah, you can tell it's like early, like, what's going on, and then it kind of develops. There's a lot of good art, so that's why I want to share it.
Okay.
It shows the multitude of memorable examples of how our dreaming minds dealt with the experience of living under quarantine and with the threat of the disease itself.
Yeah, not the whole unknown.
It's
so early on.
Whole unknown. No one.
Scary.
Well, no one's really been through that in our generation, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
There was.
I mean, unless you're alive in like the 1918 pandemic.
Yeah, then it doesn't count. Sorry, doesn't count.
They're probably not listening to this podcast anyway.
I doubt that they even know what a podcast is. We're going to listen to our fireside chats.
It's like a radio show, but not.
But we're funny. So in addition to explicit references to the pandemic, our dreams extracted the existential meaning of the lockdown, like being stuck or unable to do things we wanted to, seeing others as threatening, and being very aware of the deadly nature of the situation. I find it interesting, though, that seeing others as threatening.
I wish I would have had my dream journal going back in 2020, because I think we started talking about doing this podcast in 2020, like around September of 2020. And then it took us a whole year to actually say, no, we really need to do this.
We did it in November of 2021.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it was 2020 when the idea first hit me. And I wish I would have started my dream journal then.
Oh, man, I bet your dreams were wild. Were a wild ride.
Just like anyone. But that website sounds really cool to be able to check out people's dreams.
Oh, yeah. Just a quick little wrap up here. Nightmare. I mean, we kind of know some of this stuff, but like nightmares and bad dreams in general are often understood as expressions of psychological distress or just stress in general, anxiety, depression. So it's not really that surprising that nightmares increased during the periods of social uncertainty and social strife. And as we know, our dreams help us make sense of our lives and metabolize new experiences, but the pandemic has intensified some affective aspects of our lives in general and our dream lives in general, as we were and still are adapting to the reality of living in the context of new diseases, lockdowns, and social occupational insecurity. Our nocturnal selves were busy trying to work this new reality into our existing models of the world and of our place in it, like we kind of discussed earlier. Learning to pay attention to our dreams may help integrate unwanted experience into our lives and may reveal what reality matters to us.
Interesting. Okay.
I just
That's
thought
really
it was
cool.
a very interesting article. You know, the fact that we could sleep more, you know, like we are at home more.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of had all this stress and had the ability to get a longer night's sleep, like
True.
increase
Right.
everything so much. And I
But
just
yet
think
so
it's
much
really,
stress of not knowing anything.
so much
early
stress,
on.
and that's where the nightmares come from. And that's why this study, I feel like, is very interesting because it is so new.
Yeah.
And like, I
Right.
mean, we're dealing with it still.
Now that we're like a little bit removed from it by a couple years.
We can reflect. You're right. We're at the
Exactly.
point where we can reflect on it and realize the thing that got me most in this article was it says we have to incorporate these new realities into our dream vocabularies.
So cool.
Because
yeah.
the pandemic is something we haven't ever experienced, so why would
And I
we dream
wonder-
about it?
If you think about like the 1918 pandemic of
The
with the
flu.
Spanish flu, right? What were people dreaming then? Was it the same thing?
I bet it
In their
was.
I bet
I
it was
bet
like
it
the same
was.
kind of stressors.
It was
So
probably
interesting.
more intense though, because like we have modern medicine,
Sure.
which
And
you know
we have
millions
media.
of people, and media, you know,
Fast
knowledge
media, I
is
should
everything.
say. Like not like telegraphs and newspapers. Like there is a bad thing. Put on your mask.
Telegraph coming in.
Stop. There is a pandemic. Stop. Please wear your mask. Stop.
Please do the Dracula cough. Stop.
Stop. So while you're talking about that, I had to pull up that website because I was curious, and it is really cool. It's
Yeah.
a cool website.
It is,
Can I
isn't
share a dream from that website real quick?
Of course.
Okay.
I feel like yes, of course.
This is May 7th, 2020.
Early days.
This is someone who's between the ages of 30 and 39 from Missouri. I was sitting in a doctor's waiting room with several other people. I noticed someone coughing/wheezing in a row of chairs in front of me. I realized that everywhere I go, they ask if I've been in close proximity to someone with COVID symptoms. I'll now have to tell them yes and deal with the consequences of that honesty. I felt like
You're
an
like, yeah,
inconvenience.
everyone in the waiting room I'm exposed to.
And I felt like an inconvenience. The long way around what I needed to get done, a pain in the ass. But it didn't cross my mind to lie about it either. So it's taking like the whole, your mind's working out all the puzzles of, that's what dreams are, right? You're working out puzzles, you're working out stressors
Right.
in your life. And this person's like, well, I can't lie about if I've been around someone, but I'm also worried about being around someone. And
Right?
I'm not going to lie about it, but I can
It
tell it's a
is.
major inconvenience if I admit it. What's also cool is they also have, just look at this website, they have certain things like what do they call them in school? Like a word vomit? Like, you know how they have certain
like a
words that
word
are
cloud.
used. A word cloud.
Like a
yeah,
word
there's certain-
cloud. Yeah.
And so,
The bigger font means stuff you've mentioned more.
yeah, exactly.
So the more you've mentioned it, the bigger the font is, and then it's depending on how much you
How
talk about it,
often.
what,
Yeah.
how often, and stuff. So it's interesting.
So some of the bigger ones are just looking briefly at anxiety, business, death, family, government, medicine, social distancing, which was the word of the year, right? So
Oh
it's
my
very
God.
interesting to see that, how it relates to how often those are in those dreams that people submitted. And it's also interesting because you can dream them by location, so by state or by country. So very, very cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Do you remember the first days of COVID? Did you have to go out and drive anywhere? Because I had to drive to work, and it was like a ghost town. I was like the only car on the road.
It was
crazy.
creepy. It was creepy. Like
It was like desolate.
it was like an
it was
apocalypse.
a weird feeling.
It was a weird feeling in the
It
world.
was.
I heard that as they decide generations, because there's like the baby boomers and there's the millennials, but typically how they define a generation is the age of a major occurrence when those kids are 5. So any kids that were 5 in 2020 will be considered a new generation because that's the age of life when it starts affecting you. So like baby boomers were, people who were born right after the World War. So it'll be interesting to see what they call this next generation.
This is fascinating. I didn't know it was like I love it.
Yeah. How was your week overall? Did you have a good week? Like, what's going on? How's the painting stuff going?
I hate taping. Yes, I'm painting my bedroom from my childhood bedroom. But I hate taping to paint. Do you hate taping? I hate taping.
I do, but like my parents love like doing different things in rooms. They're constantly changing their house, and they're like, "Well, we don't use tape. We're just like very good at that." I'm like, I am not good, and I have to tape because I'm a Virgo.
Can I call Mama and Papa to come over and
call
paint?
Mama and Papa flew over?
It's one
there.
room.
They'll take care of you.
Please tell them that I just have one, and it's
totally
only 3 walls because. My dad wants to keep the wallpaper wall for some reason, so all I have to do is tape 3 walls.
That's too funny because in the last 2 weeks, I've painted our bedroom. I painted the upstairs hallway and the stairs. So I am like, this was hours of work, but it's all done.
Okay,
so
because I taped like a doorway and it took me like 45 minutes. So I'm like, holy shit. This project's going to take me a lot longer.
No, it shouldn't take you that long.
And guess what? Guess what I'm doing on Monday, Mindy? Guess what I'm doing on Monday?
What? Painting? Shimmying?
I have a job. I'm starting.
Oh, someone got a new job. Congratulations.
Woohoo. And you know what it is?
What?
With seniors and people with special needs, which is crazy because
your heart is
where my heart is, and also where I was told by a brilliant tarot card reader that I would end up in a job like that. So it is crazy.
That is crazy, and that is so exciting.
Thank you so much. And I want to give a shout out to Jacob, who was my tarot card reader, and I adore him. So yes, you should definitely reach out to him. He's amazing, and he's the sweetest guy ever. So yeah, he said I would be working with special needs and
he was right.
And I was
right. We'll put Jacob's link in our show notes because he called that.
Yes.
He called it perfectly. So exciting. You start Monday?
I start Monday, and I didn't want to tell you because I wanted to share it on the pod.
I love it. Yay! Congrats, bestie.
Oh, thank you.
Rookie. Exciting week. Good vibes. Good vibes this week.
Good vibes only. GVO.
GVO. I've never heard it as an acronym, but I'm with it.
Oh, really?
No, I've never heard GVO. That's hilarious, though.
GVO. Okay, good vibes only, baby. Oh, what did you do this week? Did you have a busy weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a soccer tournament in Indiana, so we drove to Indiana.
All of you?
Oh,
like all the girls?
It was two of the kids and me. So it was a smaller hall. I still had to bring a whole
but
cooler.
You still had to drive
and,
there.
Yeah, it's about 3.5 hours away.
There.
Tournament was good. I mean, it was fun to watch soccer. It was outside, which is always interesting. Outside soccer in February in the Midwest.
February?
As I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't think people that live in California or maybe like Arizona would understand or even be able to fathom that, yes, we play soccer outside in February in 30-degree weather.
That's
voluntarily.
Stupid. I'm sorry. Voluntarily.
We had our layers. We were good. We have our blankets. Like you come out to watch a game in hat and gloves and winter jackets and thermal layers.
I just don't understand, like why would you go to a game?
It's so funny because my daughter that does that plays soccer, she'll wear like a long sleeve. It's like, what's that material? Like the athletic dry fit, right? So she's got like a short sleeve shirt, shorts. She'll put on a long sleeve shirt, but that's it. So she's got shorts and this little. I'm like, wait, no hat, no. Like, I'm like, aren't you freezing? Anyways, but it was good. It was fun. I do have a funny story though about dinner.
I love it. Let's hear it.
I know you love soup. Or do you?
I had soup last night for dinner.
Nice.
Chicken and wild rice. I'm not even kidding. I had soup.
I made homemade ramen yesterday.
Oh, you're an angel. I love homemade ramen.
But let me tell you a non-good soup story.
Oh, no.
My daughter who plays soccer, she wanted pasta. So I was like, well, let's find...
You're getting soup.
Let's find a family pasta place. Because I'm like, I don't want to go to Olive Garden. And I don't want to go to a burger place that sells pasta. So I found this...
burger place that sells pasta.
I found this family Italian restaurant. Let me tell you.
Okay, good.
Have you ever had Italian wedding soup?
I have.
I enjoy it. It's like, it's like a chicken broth.
I do enjoy it. I like it.
Spinach,
it's got a lot of
carrots,
good stuff in it.
Little meatballs.
It's delightful.
Very good.
It's delightful.
I had the worst version of this soup I've ever had. It tasted like I was licking a block of salt, and it was brown. Like,
are you a deer?
It was like
salt lick.
It was beef broth, and it was like brown, like what would fall out of like your garbage disposal. Sludge. Nasty.
This sounds absolutely disgusting.
And the service wasn't great. Didn't ask me how. I'm like, I didn't eat any of my soup. Obviously, it was not good. But she didn't ask how my
and
soup
she doesn't
was.
say, "Hey, is everything okay?" You're like, "No, my soup is
awful,
putrid.
It was a putrid.
Tastes
soup.
like a deer lick."
It tastes like a deer lick. Only us in the Midwest would know what a deer lick is. Brooke, do you want to explain that to
and
our
I don't
bestie
even
out
hunt.
there?
And I'm not even in that type of person. But deer, not deers.
Deer.
They like salt.
Yeah, so
don't
they
we
put
all?
There.
So they put a block of salt out to attract the deer, and they lick it.
Well, I do like salt. I do not enjoy a soup of salt. And that was my story from what town was I in? I don't know. It was not great. All right, bestie, that wraps up another episode 71. On to 72 next week. Just gonna keep doing this. I'm having fun. It's a good time. But we need you to do us one favor. If you want us to get to episode 72, you need to tell your friend about the show. Tell your best friend. Tell your mama, who mixes you a very delicious drink of rose gin. Tell your favorite person who runs next to your car that might be an alien without eyes. Just tell your favorite runner, maybe about the podcast.
Tell your favorite runner.
Tell your favorite
runner. In case you don't encounter an alien, just tell the next runner you see.
If you don't have eyes, it's probably good when you listen to podcasts. So it makes sense. It tracks. What else? They can't watch TV.
All you can do is hear.
Just listen to the podcast.
Listen.
Or you can also tell that person that moved into your old grandma's house that built a shrine of your face. It says creepy just tell your stalker about the show. That's how we grow. That's how we are going to come back next week.
Oh, and I just want to say thank you to Sierra again for her beautifully written descriptive dream. And thank you to all our catnaps that we read today. It's been an amazing episode.
Yes, thank you. And hey, bestie, it's time for bed, which means turn off that light, turn on that sound machine, and tuck in. And we'll be with you again next week. But until then,
sweet
dreams,
bitches.
That's a wrap.
Ow!